Obviously, the Saints would have had the 10th overall pick, but see, I couldn't go the whole episode without bringing that up. It's been a while. It's been like 4 or 5 months since I brought that up. So I'm glad I got through the entire podcast without just blurting that out. But anyways, Saints, or Coach, what do you expect the Saints to be focusing on this weekend?
Since Jeff Ireland came into play in his role with the Saints, 7 of the last 10 years, this guy's started it off interior lineman. And I don't think that trend is going to slow down based on what I've seen and what I've read. Defensive tackles is a major position of need, especially with the number of defensive tackles we lost to free agency in the last month or so. So I think Jeff Ireland's trend of interior lineman or streak of that is going to be intact. And just to name a few, defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey from Pitt, defensive tackle Byron Bressie from Clemson, defensive tackle Maisie Smith from Michigan are all 3 guys that have had multiple interviews with the Saints. And if it's not going to be on the defensive side, I know they've brought in Steve Avila, the guard from TCU, on the offensive line side, just because, the last number of years, especially on the interior guard position, guys like Andrews Pete and Cesar Ruiz haven't really been able to stay on the field and perform well enough for those first round pick grades that they got in their respective drafts. Also, one other position of need is the tight end. And if we're talking our pick at number 29, late first round, names like Dalton Kincaid out of Utah have been mentioned, who's probably 1 or 2 tight end in this draft. And then there's Darnell Washington from Georgia. So those names is what I've read a lot of in regards to some mocks or what other experts are saying. Also, later on into the second, if he's still there, I heard they might take a chance on a guy like Hendon Hooker, a name that we brought up earlier in the podcast, and a second round grade or a second round pick with a low first round grade for them. I'm all for it. Again, he's older, but let's say, he's wiser, or more mature, right? He's an athlete, and his touchdown to interception ratio is really good. Yeah, he's coming off an injury, but I think medical experts and players and teams in this league, technology's better, surgeries go better, recovery's faster. Guys come back quicker, stronger, and more ready. So, if he's around in that second round, I'm all for it. I think edge is somewhere that we've failed in the last number of years. So I wouldn't dismiss the kid out of Georgia Tech, White. I forgot his first name, White, but he's a freak raw defensive edge that we could develop. I mean, we failed on a number of them, so why not try to develop again another one? So if everything goes as to Jeff Ireland's plan, I could see interior lineman and a tight end, first 3 picks. So we'll see. And go Saints.
Yeah, it's I think Hendon Hooker in a Saints uniform, I think that would be best for both. I think it allows Hendon Hooker to sit back, obviously learn, get healthy fully, not have too much pressure on him. And then for the Saints looking, hey, you know what? We got 2, maybe 3 or 4 years of Carr. We can have Hooker sit back. And I think if you can get Hendon Hooker in the second round, I don't think his age matters too much then, which is kind of weird, I know, but I guess the way that these GMs look at draft picks is, you got to get 10 to 15 years out of him. It's easier to get that out of a 21-year-old than a 25-year-old, especially at the quarterback position. When we drop down to the second round, the pressure is a little less, and I think maybe GMs aren't so beholden to draft the kid that's going to be around for at least age-wise 10 to 15 years. So